What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today will be a Q&A. And by the way, I'm testing out a new microphone, so let's hope this all works. I attached it to my shirt. I am able to get stuff like this as this camera, my computer, a microphone like this, thanks to you guys, and I really like to invest in new things to improve the quality of the channel. The only thing that I need now is more time, but once school is finished in a few months, I will have seas of time to show you guys exactly what's going on in my life. But let's move on to the Q&A, and I'm going to try and do my best to go through these questions faster than usual. On my last video, my chest workout video called Heavy Chest Workout, Measuring My Arms, that's the title, I asked you guys if you wanted to ask me some questions for the Q&A. And when I ask you guys are very forthcoming with your questions. So let's pick out some questions you asked me, and let's get started. First question by Kyriakos Nikiforidis. What is your opinion on nutrient timing and the anabolic window? Nutrient timing is something different than the anabolic window. Let me briefly explain. The anabolic window is the sort of 1 to 2 hour window that you have post-workout to basically eat your food before it's going to waste. Well, I don't believe in the anabolic window in that regard. However, I do believe, and it's been proven in science, I've learned in my minor sports nutrition at a university, that when you work out and you work out hard, your cells are more sensitive to insulin. So insulin sensitivity is heightened. And what is food, high carbs, going to do when your cells are insulin sensitive? They increase the amount of insulin secreted by your body in your blood, and since your muscle cells are more sensitive to insulin now, they will uptake more of the carbs compared to any other time of the day. However, also in the morning, because your blood sugar is low, you will be more sensitive to insulin as well. So I don't believe in the anabolic window necessarily, but after working out, you do have muscle cells that are more insulin sensitive, so taking up more faster carbs. But this, not a half an hour, not an hour, it can take up to multiple hours after the workout. So a window is not necessarily true. And nutrient timing, eating every 2 to 3 hours, I believe it has a benefit in terms of keeping the muscle protein synthesis above a level of muscle growth. If you eat a meal in the morning of 50 grams of protein and you eat 6 hours later, after 2 or 3 hours, the amount of protein in your blood, the level of leucine especially, will be too low to activate muscle protein synthesis. So eating every 2 to 3 hours with enough protein, especially leucine, will keep the muscle protein synthesis high enough for constant muscle growth and feeding of the leucine to it to make it grow. Next question by Tilla Pasta. Hey Wesley, I asked this a while back, but I figure I'd ask again in hopes you will see. I was wondering what you considered makes the difference between open bodybuilding, classic physique, and man's physique competitors. Obviously, they all train incredibly hard and diet smart, but what makes one guy fit one class over the others? Well, I have personal experience in being an open bodybuilder, a super heavyweight, and a classic physique competitor. In my opinion, I was always meant to compete in classic physique, because even when I was doing the super heavyweight bodybuilding shows, I never felt in place. I'm quite tall, so genetically, my height is genetically determined, mostly, caused me to weigh quite heavy in the super heavyweight class, while shorter guys, and the super heavyweight class is above 100 kilograms, by the way, at least in the Netherlands. So shorter guys have more muscle on their frame before they weigh as much as I do, because I'm taller. So I didn't really fit in the class. So genetics is number one. Your frame, having wide shoulders, a narrow waist. If you can add a lot of muscle to your frame and you have wide hips, you have everything wide, but not really classic features such as being able to pull a vacuum, having a good V shape, being able to pose. It's all a talent, it's all an instinct, it's all genes, and also practice, of course. But you will know what class belongs to you. However, man's physique and classic physique are very close together. The only difference is that you cannot see the legs in man's physique, but I have to say, most man's physique athletes do have an incredible upper body. But I have to say also, they do look very good when not posing, but when doing a front double bicep, nothing really pops. They keep their abs very tight, and this, prevents the V-shape from really showing, which classic physique competitors are able to do. So basically the difference is, the way you were born, your bone structure, your talents in posing, and the way you simply look on stage, and whether you're tall, whether you're short, etc. Of course, there's a lot more factors, but those are of my opinion. Next question by Mr. Chicken, you're so stupid. At what age would you recommend to get serious in bodybuilding, diet-wise especially? There's not a specific age. I started bodybuilding when I was 14 years old, and I started taking my diet seriously around 20. So I trained for 6 years, and I did make plenty of gains because of my natural testosterone increasing over time because of puberty. So if you start out young, there is no need to take your diet very seriously, but do keep your protein count high enough to at least take all advantage of your workouts. Because if you are a beginner, you will grow regardless, but at least keep up your protein high enough to make the maximum gains. However, when you've been training 3, 4, 5 years and your gains are starting to plateau, then it is time to get your diet in check and make some gains once more. Next question by OG Aesthetics. Your skin is so healthy, mate. You avoid inflammatory foods, gluten/dairy, etc. The skin, guys. You're right. This guy is smart. He knows that inflammatory foods or inflammatory affects your body. Inflammatory foods and being inflamed means that there is a reaction going on in your body. Toxic waste is being produced, and your liver has to do more effort. And when your liver is incapacitated to work on anything else, for example, keeping your skin clean, reducing the toxins, the waste from other parts of your body, it will have no choice but to force out the toxins through your skin to the outside, because your body wants to get rid of it regardless. This is also seen in people who train very hard. When you train hard, you actually produce waste products from your muscle protein, and if you drink next to it, if you smoke next to it, if you eat inflammatory foods, your liver simply doesn't have the capacity to remove everything at a fast enough rate for it not to show through your skin. So eating foods that are healthy for you, that helps your liver detoxify your blood, and at the same time taking care of your skin, of course, by showering every day, by making sure that you moisturize your skin depending on your skin type. But the most important thing is your diet, and will always remain your diet. So eat clean foods. I've been eating fish for 3 to 4 years now, only fish, no meat. Usually red meat has been proven to up inflammatory count, for example. Not that that's a reason that I stopped eating meat, but that's for another topic. And eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of anti-inflammatory vegetables. Take omega-3, for example, anti-inflammatory properties as well. Just a combination of everything. Help out your liver with milk thistle, stuff like that. Maybe I should make a separate video about this, because a lot of people keep asking me that very question. Next question by Ornate Hammer. I stopped working out about 1.5 years ago. I'll get that newbie gains effect again when I'll start working out? Well, kinda. There is such a thing as muscle memory. Your muscles don't actually remember anything, but when you build muscle, satellite cells, which is just a fancy name for things your muscle produce when you build muscle, are implanted in between your muscle fibers, just to make it easy. And when that happens, they don't disappear ever again. So what happens if you start working out again, those satellite cells remind your body, remind your muscles that they had more muscle mass before. So it more easily adds that lost muscle back. So yes, when you stop working out and lose some muscle and you start working out again, you will gain muscle at a faster than average rate. Next question by Rasmus Lindved. Did you pay someone to voice over, or is your voice just this golden? It's this golden. Next question by Pone on Fire. Do you ever have joint pain after training heavy? Usually I get pain in my knees after squats and back, or elbows when training heavier, like tendonitis, and also popping in my shoulder when I do bench press. A lot of people have this issue because a lot of people train too heavy before having warmed up properly, and you also need to be flexible and mobile in every single body part. So what I have, for example, to prevent your shoulder from popping, from getting injured, from hurting while lifting, I posted a shoulder fix video on my channel. Just search shoulder fix vintage genetics on YouTube and you will find it. It's a stretch that you can use. You basically lay on the ground and you stretch your shoulder like this. Basically stretches out this part. It stretches the rotator cuff and the rest of the shoulder as well, which lengthens those tendons, those fibers, and reduces the inflammation and the pain in there. And that's just one of the things that you have to do. But most importantly, remove the cause of the tendonitis, of the pain, and that's lifting heavy before having properly warmed up. That's why I always like to do 2 or 3 really light warm-up sets with higher volume on the bench press, on the squats, the bent over row, the skull crushers, doesn't matter what. Always get the blood flowing, get the warmth flowing through those tendons, through those muscles, to prevent injuries. Next question, I'm gonna switch over to Instagram now. Follow me at Wesley Vissers if you haven't yet. Post a lot of pictures and a lot of stories about my life. You know, short videos take up a lot less time than full videos on YouTube. So if you're interested, check out at Wesley Vissers. So this question is by Sully Hater69. Hey Wesley, would you consider working as a voice-over artist for radio commercials or playing a villain in a movie perhaps, on the side of designing and selling your apparel, workout and nutrition plans, as I believe you have great potential to live a lifestyle reminiscent of Arnold's? Well, I'm not sure about the last part, but I would love a voice-over artist job or anything to do with doing a voiceover or anything to do with my voice. Like, for example, I would love to work in some sort of anime or cartoon job to use my voice for certain characters. You know, stuff like that would be pretty awesome, because I never realized this, but there's a lot of work to do, but I wouldn't know where to start for looking for a job like this, and whether it's practical to do it next to my bodybuilding lifestyle. So if you guys have any idea or can point me in the right direction for a voiceover job, please do tell. I do live in the Netherlands, by the way, but maybe it's possible to do it digitally as well. Who knows? Anyway, thank you if you do. Next question by Dennis Tup Kukso. What's up, Wesley? You talked in your recent pictures about a larger ribcage. Thus, my question, if there are any methods or training techniques to get your ribcage larger/bigger. I'm not sure if you have covered this topic in one of your Q&As. I think I have done it once or twice, but when you're young, under 21, but especially when you're very young, it is still possible that your ribcage is a little bit pliable, because there's a lot of bone in between the ribcage bones that is mendable, pliable under pressure. That's why a lot of athletes who sport at a young age, who need a big lung capacity, their body realizes this, that if you are someone who requires bigger lungs, your ribcage is actually able to expand permanently to give those lungs the space they need. However, you can hack this a little bit by doing heavy dumbbell pullovers. Yes, you're right. And that might also be the cause why a lot of classic bodybuilders in the past had very large rib cages as well, because that is simply a classic exercise which they've probably done from a very young age as well. I have to be honest, there is no scientific research I've done on this, but from my own experience, as well as some reputable coaches that I know have told me this as well. But if you look at the anatomy chart of your rib cage, you can actually see that there's cartilage in between the actual hard bones of your rib cage. And when you're younger, it is possible to actually make this grow or mend or, you know, make it pliable a little bit. So yes, that's my advice on it. Again, don't take it, you know, might take it with a grain of salt, but that's just my opinion on the matter. Alright guys, before this video gets too long, which it usually becomes when doing Q&As, because I love answering your questions, I will end it right here. And the tank top I'm wearing right now, it usually comes with a Vintage Genetics logo, but this was still the first version that I bought, that I got to see what it looks like. And it's basically a very open. And the nice thing is I can actually stand up and you can still hear me just fine. But you can see this tank top is pretty, you know, wide, open, a lot of space to use. And it's very nice in the summer, especially. And it's just a very loose fit. I used it today actually when training back. And I really love it myself. And when, you know, basically the process of me getting stuff for Vintage Genetics clothing is I first buy it, I get it, I test it out, and then when I decide that I love it while working out, I decide to get a lot of them, a lot of different colors, and put it on the website and see which color people like most, which version people like most, and then of that version I get a lot more. So right now I have this color, and on vintagegenetics.com you can see like 5 or 6 different colors as well, a lot of light summer colors, because I call it the summer collection. So if you're interested in tank tops like this to work out in, they're very comfortable in my opinion, and they're a very light material, very loose fit, just very comfortable while training. So if you're interested, check it out. And yeah, next video will be coming up soon. I will do my best to make a nutrition video, because a lot of people keep asking me how I make that delicious golden rice. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.